Welcome to US Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: AOC calls out GOP for fabricated image in Biden impeachment hearing. Nikki Haley rejects Vice President talk and bid to be viable Trump alternative. Donald Trump's team brands Nikki Haley Hillary 2.0 after her debate victory. Defensive tackles Aaron Donald and DeForest Buckner ready to square off again in Rams-Colts matchup. Chinese artists boycott big social media platform over AI-generated images. AOC calls out GOP for fabricated image in Biden impeachment hearing. The Independent. Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has accused Republicans of presenting fabricated evidence during the first hearing on the impeachment inquiry of U.S. President Joe Biden. Ocasio-Cortez claimed that a text message presented at the hearing had been falsified and that critical context had been excluded, changing the underlying meaning and allegation. She requested that members of the committee elevate to the promise of our duties and comport themselves with the consistency and practice required of their seats and oaths. Nikki Haley rejects Vice President talk and bid to be viable Trump alternative. Telegraph. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is seen as a serious challenger to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to take on Donald Trump for the Republican nomination for president in 2024. Born in the U.S. to parents from Punjab, India, Haley has already served as South Carolina's governor and U.S. ambassador to the UN, and has the charisma to woo foreign investors. In addition, she has performed well in recent debates, and has been able to walk a narrow tightrope between disdain and support for Trump, neither attacking him nor alienating his base. Donald Trump's team brands Nikki Haley Hillary 2.0 after her debate victory. Telegraph. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has criticized former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley following her success in a Republican presidential primary debate. Trump's campaign issued a lengthy rebuttal, claiming that Haley is weak on immigration and criticizing her support for Ukraine. The campaign also linked Haley to Hillary Clinton, quoting an interview in which she said that she ran for office because of Clinton. Haley's campaign responded, suggesting that Trump feels threatened by her. Recent polls suggest that Haley is gaining momentum and could beat Joe Biden in a hypothetical 2024 matchup. Defensive tackles Aaron Donald and DeForest Buckner ready to square off again in Rams-Colts matchup. The Toronto Star. Los Angeles Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald is considered one of the best interior linemen in NFL history. The Indianapolis Colts will face him this week and are preparing to stop him from wrecking the game. Donald has had a strong start to the season and will go up against the Colts' top defensive tackle tandem, DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart. The Rams will be missing All-Pro receiver Cooper Kupp, while the Colts will be without All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor. Chinese artists boycott big social media platform over AI-generated images. CNN. Artists in China are boycotting social media platform Xiaohongshu due to allegations that the site used their artwork to train its AI image generation tool without permission. Xiaohongshu has not publicly commented on the allegations, though the artist known as Snowfish has said she received a private apology from the official Trick AI account. The boycott has been supported by hundreds of other artists on Xiaohongshu, and has sparked a wider debate about the use of AI in art. Some artists have called for better rules to protect their work online. The boycott is also part of a wider debate on AI regulation. AI image generation tools are being developed faster than governments can regulate them. The European Union has set rules on the use of AI, and the US is in discussions with lawmakers and tech firms to develop its own legislation. Chinese regulations on AI are seen as a broad framework that prioritizes centralizing power from tech giants and winning the global tech race over individual rights. Man who fled NYC daycare where suspected drug exposure led to child's death has been arrested. The Toronto Star. Felix Herrera Garcia, who fled a New York City daycare center where a child died from suspected drug exposure, has been taken into custody in California and faces federal drug charges. Authorities had been searching for Garcia for almost 2 weeks following the discovery of 4 children at the Bronx day care with signs of exposure to fentanyl. A 1-year-old boy died. Authorities allege a drug operation ran out of the center, with fentanyl and other drugs stored inside. 3 other people have already been charged in the case. No Rodgers, but there's still plenty of hype in Chiefs' Sunday night showdown with Jets. The Toronto Star. The Kansas City Chiefs face the New York Jets on Sunday night in a game that has lost some of its shine after Jets star quarterback Aaron Rodgers was lost for the season with an injury. Instead, the game has become more about the off-field relationship between Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce and pop star Taylor Swift. The Chiefs are favorites to win the game, with quarterback Patrick Mahomes closing in on his 200th career touchdown pass. The Jets have struggled on offense this season, and their struggles on third down have been particularly noticeable. Reliable dividends from the nuclear sector. The Globe and Mail. The prospects for the nuclear power industry are looking up as Europe seeks to replace Russian natural gas and the world looks to cut greenhouse gas emissions from fossil fuels. A $3 billion deal between Canada and Romania to build 2 new nuclear reactors highlights the trend. Using its TSI Dividend Sustainability Rating System, the Canadian TSI network has identified 6 companies as providing a reliable dividend from the nuclear sector. These are Dominion Energy, Duke Energy, NextEra Energy, Constellation Energy, Cameco and BWX Technologies. The Astros edge, triumph and scandal in Major League Baseball review, cheating their way to the World Series. Wall Street Journal. A new Frontline documentary discusses the 2017 cheating scandal involving the Houston Astros. The World Series winning team was found to have stolen pitch signs throughout the season by relaying them to the dugout using unauthorized camera technology and then banging on a can to alert batters about the type of pitch that was coming. The documentary criticizes Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred for giving all Houston players immunity during his investigation, and suggests that the incident has had little lasting impact on the Houston organization. The Simpsons Season 35 Review, America's Funniest Family. Wall Street Journal. The article discusses the 35th season of the television show The Simpsons. Despite being on air for so long, the show has managed to maintain its sense of humor and toe the line of propriety. The article also includes a review of the first episode of the new season, praising the show's writing and vocal performances. The article concludes by stating that The Simpsons has something for everyone and every funny bone. Pearly Victorious Review, Leslie Odom Jr.'s Southern Satire. Wall Street Journal. A production of Ossie Davis's 1961 play Pearly Victorious is currently showing on Broadway. The play is a comedy about an itinerant preacher who needs to raise money to buy a church, so recruits a young woman to impersonate a dead family member to gain an inheritance. The play tackles racism and has been updated to have a more contemporary feel. Trump and MAGA Republican extremists threaten U.S. democracy, Biden says. Al Jazeera. U.S. President Joe Biden has criticized his Republican rival Donald Trump, saying his Make America Great Again movement does not share the basic beliefs of democracy. Speaking at an event in Arizona, Biden said the Republican Party was driven and intimidated by MAGA Republican extremists. Biden has made protecting democracy a key part of his re-election bid. Trump is currently the frontrunner for the Republican nomination in 2024. Kari Lake plans to announce Senate run next month. Washington Post. Kari Lake, an Arizona ally of former President Donald Trump who has not conceded her defeat to a Democrat during last year's gubernatorial race, will enter the race for U.S. Senate on October 10 during a rally with supporters, according to 2 campaign advisors who spoke on the condition of anonymity to talk about private discussions. Mercedes-Benz introduces hands-free driving. How does it compare to Tesla? Wall Street Journal. Mercedes and Tesla are taking different approaches to autonomous driving, according to a report in Auto Week. The latest version of Tesla's full self-driving, FSD, technology, version 12, FSD V12, relies on generative artificial intelligence, while Mercedes Drive Pilot uses pattern-matching algorithms. As such, Tesla's system will be able to deal with edge cases and respond to situations more like a human than the Mercedes system, which is more rule-based and will require more human intervention when it reaches its limits. Brazil Supreme Court's new Chief Justice faces stormy ties with Congress. Reuters. Luis Roberto Barroso, a liberal judge who has supported legalizing abortion and criminalizing homophobia, has become Chief Justice of Brazil's Supreme Court. However, Barroso is likely to face opposition from the conservative-led Congress, which seeks to reduce the court's influence on social issues and human rights debates. Barroso has vowed to defend human rights, including gay marriage, but has denied that the court is overly active. Controversial issues such as abortion decriminalization, marijuana possession, and the responsibility of tech firms for content posted on their platforms may deepen the rift between the court and Congress. Conservative lawmakers have proposed constitutional amendments to limit the court's influence. Well, folks, that's all the news we have for today. Let's recap, shall we? First up, Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called out Republicans for presenting fabricated evidence during the impeachment hearing of President Joe Biden. She urged members of the committee to uphold their duties and be consistent in their actions. Next, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is positioning herself as a strong contender for the Republican nomination for president in 2024. She has managed to navigate the tricky waters of supporting Trump without alienating his base, and recent polls suggest she could beat Joe Biden in a hypothetical matchup. In sports news, we have a showdown between two defensive tackles in the Rams-Colts matchup. Aaron Donald, considered one of the best interior linemen in NFL history, will go up against the Colts' top defensive tackle tandem. It's sure to be an exciting game. Moving on to China, artists are boycotting social media platform Xiaohongshu over allegations that the site used their artwork without permission to train its AI image generation tool. This boycott has sparked a wider debate about the use of AI in art and the need for better rules to protect artists' work online. In a more somber story, a man who fled a New York City day care where a child died from suspected drug exposure has been arrested and faces federal drug charges. The authorities had been searching for him for almost 2 weeks, and it's a relief that he has been taken into custody. Now, let's shift gears to some lighter news. The Kansas City Chiefs are set to face the New York Jets in a game that may have lost some of its shine after the Jets' star quarterback Aaron Rodgers was injured. However, the off-field relationship between Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce and pop star Taylor Swift has added an interesting twist to the game. In the world of finance, the nuclear power industry is looking promising as Europe seeks alternatives to Russian natural gas and the world aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The Canadian TSI network has identified 6 companies as reliable dividend providers in the nuclear sector. Turning to entertainment, a new Frontline documentary delves into the 2017 cheating scandal involving the Houston Astros. The documentary criticizes Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred for granting immunity to Houston players and suggests that the incident has had little lasting impact on the organization. On the small screen, The Simpsons is still going strong in its 35th season. The show has maintained its sense of humor and continues to entertain with its writing and vocal performances. And finally, a production of Ossie Davis's play Pearly Victorious is currently showing on Broadway. The play tackles racism and has been updated to have a more contemporary feel. That's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the news roundup. Now, it's your turn. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any questions? I'm here to chat, so let's hear what you have to say. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.